Hello, hola, and buenas. Welcome back to La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast always made with love for all you soccer fans out there. Tonight, we'll bring you a match reaction to the LA Galaxy's deceptively lopsided 3-0 home victory in the first leg of their Concacaf Champions Cup Round of 16 fixture at home against Mount Pleasant Academy on Wednesday, March 11th. We'll break down another fast Galaxy start, the maddening inability for Galaxy players to convert their chances, who actually did themselves some favors with their play, the importance of those two late goals, and where the tie stands as it heads to Jamaica for leg 2 next week on Thursday. We'll also bring you a Galaxy versus SKC preview as Dejan Joveljic returns home to the digs and Eric Tommy reunites with his old team. Plus, the first MLS manager has been relieved of his duties, and we'll tell you all about who that is. All of that and more coming on tonight's episode of La Cuna Galaxiana. DJ, spin that track. G's up.
Yeah, let's get it started with a new year, new me. Cuna Galaxiana still reporting on the news feed, yeah. And you know who it be, the 6-star from the Jersey, putting work in the league. Word on the street, we rip teams immaculately. We see the players come and go, but I'm forever a G. And you can catch me yelling tactics on the field when I leave. Get it together like I'm Vanny when I'm giving a speech. Back to the pitch, score goals, dribbling tricks. I heard a transfer window rumor, let me see who it is. I got statistics on the player, puzzle pieces that fit. Con este show que es tan bilingüe que tu papi lo ve. Rápido pues, hablando de este club otra vez. En las buenas y en las malas, we got love for the crest, love for LA. Let's get it started, light up the stage. Every week on Monday night I'm tuning into the place. Yeah, you know what it is. It's La Cuna Galaxiana, 4th season, Rob Ananda. And my name, ya te lo sabes.
Welcome back, Cuneros, to La Cuna Galaxiana. I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Halon. You can find my written work at the Sporting Tribune, and you can always find me online at El Escudero de LA. And since I'm here, como siempre, always here with me, ride or die, el papá de Natita, el yerno guapo y gitano perdido, Anandita Kirana. Papa, we're back with the heat here at home in Southern California, and you know, maybe the last couple minutes of the game last night were the heat.
I was gonna say, like, I wish the Galaxy turned up the heat on the score sheet sooner than later, because me and you were, or you and dude, we were in the press box, like, bruh, right? Like, what is going on right now? We were so jittery for like the first 80 some odd minutes until the Galaxy turned up the heat, like you said.
I'm surprised Galaxy didn't kick me out, bro. Like I was most of
I was going to say, aren't you supposed to be like, isn't that what you taught me, to be like neutral as possible?
Yeah. And usually, chat, let me break it down here for you. Usually I'm quiet, like I am just watching the game and don't really emote too much. But yesterday, I don't know, like just like the frustration of yesterday, I guess just got to me. And like, yeah, I mean, you can ask on how it was, but very emotive. That's what I can say.
Even Greg heard you from downstairs, because you could pretty much hear like the Greg and the players talking, like, they're kind of like, what, like, I don't know, 10 feet or 15 feet lower than us.
Well,
and, I mean, we'll talk about why we could hear each other right later, but yeah, like I think Greg heard you sigh and like just said, "Ay, mijo," like just like your tame expletives were really fun to watch. But while we're in our fields, might as well get into our one-word match reaction. So you guys can probably tell, honestly, like just by this opening, by the thumbnail that we put up there, was it pleasant or not so pleasant?
We weren't impressed, bro. Like let's not sugarcoat it. Like let's not sugarcoat it, bro. Like from minute 5 to minute 85, from minute 5 to 85, it was lackluster. That's my one word, right? They did get it together towards the end. Pec got his hat trick, but yeah, man, that was a game where you called it out on the last pod. You said for the Galaxy to do this game, they have to not play down to the competition. That's exactly what they did, and everybody that we spoke to said it. We probably could have scored a couple more. We should have scored a couple more. But it they didn't. And we'll talk about why that could be and our theories on that a little bit later. Maybe these are going to be some of these the hot takes here that you guys can call up these receipts on us later if something goes wrong or right. But anyway, yeah, Nanda, lackluster. That's mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow along the same lines. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it too much. Unconvincing. I think I was hoping, and it's always the hope that kills you with this team, right? But I was hoping that we would see a convincing performance, especially given the circumstances. It's interesting. Greg was asked about if he or his team had any level of empathy for Mount Pleasant. He was like, honestly, like maybe we will after this tie, but right now we're focused on getting through to the next round. But
no, he didn't even say that. He said, "Am I allowed to?" I think he questioned it, like, "Am I allowed to?"
But what I was hoping for this team was, like, especially after the trials and tribulations in Colorado and everything that went on there, looking at players like Gabriel Pec, obviously, that they would stamp their authority on this game, and it would, after the first goal in, I thought the doors would blow wide open, but it just wasn't to be. And we'll talk through all the X's and O's, guys, of things that we saw, things that we learned from the press box. But for me, it was unconvincing, and I think a lot of Galaxy fans, it sounded like they agreed as well. I think the scoreline was flattering.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, it could have been so much more. But we'll get into it. Guys, super chats are available. If you got something to get off your chest, if you got something to say, if you got something to ask Ananda, the tactics and X's and O's, guys, if you just want to vibe out with me for a little bit, go ahead and throw in a super chat. We would love to know what's on your mind. And of course, if you are one of the many folks that have subscribed to this show, we thank you. We really just honestly, like, we started just talking about the Galaxy and drinking some beers and having some wings, and now we get to hang out with you guys all the time, and it's beautiful, man. Like the way your life works out like that. And so to celebrate us passing 800 subs, we are still giving away the Arquitekto Verbal vinyl. At the end of the intro track, he says, "In my name, you know who it is." Well, Arquitekto Verbal, y'all know him, y'all love him. We are giving away a vinyl, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, go ahead and like and subscribe what you're listening to. I always say, like, this is a labor of love, and labor is the optimal word, because Anandita and I do put in a couple hours every week, and trying to make sure that we're on the up and up and bringing you what y'all need to survive in Galaxylandia. So go ahead and repay the favor. Go ahead and hit that subscribe, especially if you're watching on X or Instagram. Jump on over to YouTube. We promise you, first off, the format is way cleaner and you can see better. But second off, it helps us out. So
and third off, you get to interact with this lovely chat that we have always every night.
Yeah,
so shout out to you guys, man.
Yeah, and
you guys make this show for sure.
Hey, chat. Last show, y'all were popping off and y'all had me dying. I was describing y'all to baby girl afterwards. Anyway, like Anand said, y'all the reason, and the reason is you. Anyway, we're going into some shout outs.
But real quick before the shout outs, of course, you guys can always follow me, block me, or stalk me at Cuna Galaxiana, and then you can find us on all of your social handles. The handle is at Cuna Galaxiana, so all your socials at Cuna Galaxiana. And of course, papá, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches, y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de Cuna Galaxiana. Sad Food Hours was canceled today, so that's good news.
Yeah.
But, I'm not sure this is an overly happy Foos hour either. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it with chat.
Yeah. Well, I like some of these comments already, man. Bo Fanatic was at the game last night. Good vibes. G's up. Yeah, I mean, it was lightly attended, but people that were there, I mean, had fun. And Riley G, of course. I mean, we saw you out there, man. Shout out V-Block going to get 90 minutes with the Immigrants Welcome banner. Damn true. Shout out.
Hey, drums were doing that thing.
Drums
were doing their thing last night for sure.
Yes.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, lightly attended, but the people were there, were having fun and showing out. So shout out to all y'all. If you guys were there and you guys watched this game, you guys noticed that the Galaxy were wearing black armbands during this match, and the reason for that was they asked to do it per reporting by our good friend and podfather, Josh Gessman. The Galaxy asked to go ahead and observe and honor the passing of Alana Lowen, Edu Lowen's wife, who recently passed to her 2-year battle with cancer. And this, I mean, good on them for showing them that family that some love, you know, because I mean, you see Klaus here in this image, and you know, him and Edu were teammates for a couple of years, so undoubtedly, you know, and they got together as families, and you know, undoubtedly he knew Alona, and you know, I mean, we saw a comment earlier in chat that said, you know, poor Klaus, he was grieving his friend. I mean, damn true, you know, like, and you know, it must be tough to play through something like that, you know, and you know, like Daniel Rojas says, you know, football is life, but some things are bigger than football, and this is one of them. Family and friendships and things like this are bigger, and but at the same time, you see, you know, his football family come around him in this moment, and it is a beautiful thing. Josh did ask him about this in the post-match presser, and I believe Ananda has that clip to share with you guys.
Could you tell us about the armbands we saw that the team was wearing tonight?
Yeah, everyone knows what my former teammate went through. So I appreciate the club to accept the idea, to support him, give him some love. It wasn't easy for him the last 2 years. What he went through, what she went through, and I was there with him this whole time. For me, it's really tough to be here and not support him in this moment. But yeah, as I say, I really appreciate the Gals family for allowed us to use and show the support and
tough situation.
My computer's like freezing right now.
Well, you know, yellow card to your computer, but we do have a comment here by Sir Dave 72. Klaus seems like a good dude. He is, man. I mean, we've spoken to him a couple times, and like he's really impressed Anand and I with the way he carries himself and his answers, and his he seems to be all about the team. And I mean, here you get to see that he's all about, you know, his friends, and man, like I keep saying, it's just a tough situation. It's horrible that you know, he had to deal with that and actually play and stuff like that. But anyway, like I said, good on the Galaxy for honoring the Lowens, and you know, good vibes out to them, and man, really, I got nothing else intelligent to say on the matter and on the set. But what Nightmare says in chat, man, F cancer. Oh, I think Ananda froze on us completely. So anyway, until he gets back, guys, right now the Galaxy are celebrating the first hat trick in Gabriel Pec's career. I believe they were running a flash sale that was on today. I believe that does go ahead and finish tomorrow evening. I could be wrong on that one, so somebody fact check me on this one. But it is available in a pack for the next 3 home matches. So that is the game against Sporting Kansas City, Minnesota United, and the Kobe Jones statue unveil match, which is against Real Salt Lake on April 26th. So make sure and go ahead and try to get in on that ticket pack, guys, so you guys can save a little dough. As well, we've called this one out a couple times. Guys, the Galaxy will be celebrating Women's History Month, and they were doing special programming on Saturday, March 14th, this Saturday against Sporting Kansas City. Expect all women entertainers, and then the team will also be honoring the Women's Coaching Alliance, a nonprofit organization that's committed to developing female leaders through coaching, youth sports, and they will be the community partner of the match. So go ahead and celebrate the beautiful women in your life. Happy birthday to Elijah Winder, who turned 23. Congratulations to him. Hopefully he was surrounded by friends and family. Guys, coming up this match week, obviously we've already talked about it. This weekend, the Galaxy will face off against Sporting Kansas City at home. But the one important thing that you guys cannot forget is it is also Pups at the Pitch. If everybody knows that I'm a sucker for the pooches. I love puppies, probably more than people. So there's going to be a bunch of dogs on the berm wearing Galaxy stuff, showing out and looking cute. So go ahead and make your way up there, take a bunch of photos for the gram, and then oh look, it's a man. He's back.
What a great time. Maybe it's a time for new equipment, because my computer completely just turned off on me. Like, it was pretty crazy after I played that clip. So my bad, guys. I'm gonna try to fix in what's going on. Just keep going, Papa.
Yeah, no. I mean, I was like, well, I think he's not here anymore, and so Chat and I, we kept it moving. So good on you, Cuneros. And thank you for supporting me here in this moment where I was with myself. I wasn't really by myself because you guys were here with me. But anyway, we were talking about Pups at the Pitch, man, and how cute all the pups are on the berm. And man, that's the Pups at the Pitch nights are some of my favorite nights, man. So definitely make your way up there. I know I'm gonna make my way up there to the berm and check out these pups. $35, and you guys can go ahead and get that at the Galaxy website. Guys, we've called this one out as well. April 4th, the Galaxy are going to be giving away Landon Donovan bobbleheads, 15K of them, 15 bands of Landon Donovan, and 500 of y'all will be getting a special Landon Donovan Merca bobblehead. So, yeah, look out for that. If you are one of the lucky few that are chosen, definitely, like I said last time, I don't want to see y'all putting these up for sale on Mercari and stuff for like $300, man. This is bad form, man. Just celebrate the win. Celebrate the win, man. But yeah, Landon is also giving away well, the Galaxy are also giving away or doing a ticket pack rather, where you can buy Landon's book and do like this meet and greet, I believe. I don't really have too much information on that. But I believe if you just go ahead and hit up the Galaxy website, you should be able to find it. But yeah, that's a separate ticket pack. One that I didn't throw in here, Ananda and chat, but I definitely want to call out is that I believe last show or the show before that, I actually called out that one of the things that I love about the Galaxy celebrating Women's Month is that Lars does their baddies night or baddies day, and they take over the Capo box. I mean, they just show out Lars. I mean, Miss Yellow every year puts up or creates a custom piece for the occasion. If y'all don't know Miss Yellow, y'all better know. Just amazingly talented artist. So yeah, she puts out a shirt every year. Last year at Presidente, Mike literally took the shirt off his back, so I can have one because I believe I have Ananda, I believe I have 3 of the 4 that she's done. So I did miss out on 1 year, but yeah, like I said, Presidente Mike last year, class act, man, just literally the shirt off his back. So anyway, look out for that this Saturday, guys. Moving into some news, Ananda, man, nope. Nope, not Oscar Pareja. More computer troubles, I'm afraid.
Oh, my bad.
Nope, more computer troubles, I'm afraid. No, we're talking about Iran officially saying no to the World Cup. They will not be coming to the World Cup. Their Minister of Sport announced that they will not be participating in the World Cup in the United States. Of course, after and this I believe happened yesterday, Ananda. So in response, as usual, the administration in power at the moment threatened them with harm and death. And I quote, would not be appropriate for Iran's squad to be at this summer's World Cup for their own life and safety. And then Iran responded that, in a nutshell, basically, that only FIFA has the power to decide participants and to improve security, and that the U.S. should improve security at the games. And the quote there is, the World Cup is a historic and international event, and its governing body is FIFA, not any individual country. Iran's national team, with strength and a series of decisive victories achieved by the brave sons of Iran, was among the first teams to qualify for this major tournament. Certainly, no one can exclude Iran's national team from the World Cup. The only country that could be excluded is one that merely carries the title of host, yet lacks the ability to provide security for the teams participating in this global event. Of course, other countries have responded in kind, and a couple of countries have already mentioned that they are considering dropping the tournament as well. Certainly, Iraq is strongly considering also withdrawing from. I believe they are in the playoff, Ananda. So I think they are considering withdrawing from the playoff in solidarity with Iran. But we'll update you guys. I mean, we this is a Galaxy-centric show, but we also bring you news about the beautiful game in general, and this is a kind of dovetails off of what happened to Mount Pleasant, man. And not getting their visas, and now we know that several countries' fans can't even travel to the World Cup. Trump is threatening the life of players that were due to come here to the tournament. It's not a good look for FIFA's winner, Prize of Peace winner. But anyway, as this story develops, we'll go ahead and bring you guys more on this, and who, if anyone, follows up with their own withdrawal. Ananda, this could spiral, man.
Yeah, I mean, lots of things going on. I think we just live in unprecedented times, so we'll see how it goes in the World Cup for sure. But it's a bad precedent.
Yeah, it definitely is. Cool Will talking about Sebastian Lletget. He officially signed with Monterey Bay. This one has been kind of not a secret for the last couple of weeks. So he is signing with Monterey Bay FC. The last we know, he's going to be part of the ownership group as well, and as well Becky G will be part of the ownership group of the men's team and the women's team. So congratulations to Sebas. Great guy. His family is class as well. Me and Baby Girl had the opportunity to sit next to them a couple of different times, and yeah, just fantastic people. And another one that's a fantastic person, man. We've had the pleasure of having him on this very show is Dieguito Fagundes, who looks set to go back to where it all started and sign with the New England. Caleb Pograntz reported that the free agent had been training and is on the verge of signing with New England, a one-year contract with a club option. The 31-year-old began his career there in New England, as I mentioned. I believe he was the club's first homegrown player back in 2010 at the ripe old age, I believe, of 15, if I remember correctly. So when people go, man, Diego's so old, no, he's not. He's only 31. He just been in the league for most of our lives. So he's been in the league for half the league's life. So he's one away from 80 goals and 80 assists, and I'm sure that New England is going to just throw the house through the window for him when he actually achieves the record. Like I said, great guy. He deserves it. Congratulations to him. We'll let you know when that becomes official. The Galaxy also signed forward Julian Palacios to a short-term agreement ahead of the Galaxy's fixture against Jamaican side Mount Pleasant. And they also extended Jakub Glesnes on Tuesday the 10th. They announced that they had extended Glesnes through the 28-29 season. So a couple of people were like, well, that was quick. Well, impact has been felt immediately. He's been an instant reference point in the locker room. The players look to him as a leader already, and I believe that he's started that cultural shift and change here for the defensive back line. It remains to be seen how the Galaxy end up at the end of the year, how many goals conceded, but so far, with the exception of that Colorado game, they might be on track here. If y'all remember, the Galaxy originally acquired Glesnes in a trade with the Union for 1.1 mil in GAM in December. Of course, like I mentioned, he's been a leader. Jakob has been an exemplary addition to the Galaxy, and we're excited to announce that he is extending his time with the team, said Will Kuntz. Congratulations to Jakob. Now, Ananda.
Next captain for sure.
Bring in that boppy graphic. Yeah, there we go. So I know y'all heard MLS coach gets fired, and some of y'all Nesios out there were like, did it finally happen? No, it didn't happen. I know what y'all were thinking. But Orlando City fired Oscar Pareja. The team, y'all can't see me because of the graphic, but I'm doing the air quotes, mutually parted ways with head coach Oscar Papi Pareja, as he was known affectionately. He was one of the longest tenured managers in the league, and he gets sacked here at the start of a 7th season with the Lions. He posted a 110, 75, and 56 record across all competitions. And yeah, he got the sack following a 5-0 loss at NYC FC on Saturday. And, that makes the Orlando City season so far winless. They're at the bottom of the Eastern Conference with a -8 goal difference and just straight up 3 losses. So even though, Pareja has a lot of history there in Orlando, a U.S. Open Cup title in 22, which is Orlando's only title since joining MLS as an expansion team. They had to make a change apparently, and now assistant coach Martin Perelman has been appointed interim head coach following Papi's departure, mutual departure in Onda. So, man, Papi, we're gonna miss you, man. Just a cool personality for sure. Ananda, it's Champions Cup roundup time. Yeah, there we go. So if you guys weren't up on game or you guys weren't following along, the Champions Cup actually kicked off on Tuesday, and the
round of 16 kicked off on Tuesday. You mean?
Yeah, exactly. What did I say?
You said Champions Cup. I know I kicked off before the season started.
No, okay, my bad. Thank you for checking in. Yeah, the Champions Cup round of 16. That's what I forgot to say. Round of 16. That's the operative phrase there. Started on Tuesday with Club America beating the Philadelphia Union 1-0 in Philadelphia. LAFC drew with Alajuelense 1-1, and Nashville and Inter Miami tied. And then, man, Ananda, seriously, like San Diego just keeps on surprising me. They beat Toluca 3-2, come from behind win with 9 men, and just unders dry, man, just filthy.
They're just a good team, though. Just a good team, solid.
Yeah,
team.
just a filthy player, though, man. Just he's like the one over there for them, man. Somebody in chat last show was like, "What's up with Chucky?" Well, when they're playing like that, they don't really got to worry about him, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and today. Just a little while ago, Cincinnati defeated Tigres 3-0 at home, and Seattle took it to Vancouver on the road, defeated Vancouver Whitecaps 3-0. So, if we're trying to talk about the Galaxy maybe having one foot in the door with that 3-0, then certainly the Sounders and Cincinnati are doing the same, man. I put this in for you before these two games that actually kicked off and finished today, but the Galaxy started the day anyway, and first in the Concacaf standings, tied with 3 points, but ahead on goal difference +2. But now they will be tied in first place with Cincinnati and the Sounders, and I'm not really sure how the tiebreaker goes on that one. So
that's interesting, because if we play either Toluca or San Diego, especially Toluca, well, either, both really, really tough opponents, and you do not want to go away for those matches.
No, you absolutely don't. And the thing is that you're standing in the CONCACAF Champions Cup standings decides what the home team is for each match in the upcoming rounds. So the Galaxy, we talked about, they didn't score as many goals as they could have, as they should have. It makes a difference and impacts this, because had they scored one or two more goals, they wouldn't be tied with Seattle or Cincinnati right now. They'd be in sole possession of first place and have home advantage over whoever they play next round, Toluca or San Diego. So again, it is good that they are in first place, tied in first place, but they could have done a little bit more. We're gonna get into it right. How about right now, Ananda?
Dale.
Well, this is your LA Galaxy versus Mount Pleasant match recap. Let's start where we all started, Ananda. Let's start with the starting lineups. Take us through this.
It's pretty much what we predicted, no, Baba, for the most part. So for the audio listeners, JT in goal, Nelson, Hawk, Glesnes, and Cuevas back four. Midfield three of Cerrillo, Winder, and Eric Tommy gets his first start for the team. And then you had Lucas Sanabria is really in that midfield. And then you had Eric Tommy on the left for the injured Joseph Paintsil, Gabriel Pec on the right because he is eligible for this game, but not for the next match against SKC. And then the big man up top, Joao Klaus. What do you think, Baba? What stood out to you here? I mean, we kind of guessed it, right?
Yeah, no, we guessed it, but there are a couple things to call out. I mean, with this first time we've seen Justin Hack as a center back, I mean, you were calling out for it. You were yearning for it. You were like, I think like just last show or the show before that, you were like, where is Justin Hack? I want to see Justin Hack. And you saw him. He started for the first time as a center back right next to Glesnes, who wore the armband, I believe, for the first time. Another thing to call out is you had no Royce, not even on the bench. We did find out that Royce did not have an injury of any kind, so coach's decision. And then Anand, I believe you did say already that Tommy made his debut, right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, so
and we might need him depending on how long. We don't have a prognosis yet, guys, on Joseph Paintsil. We didn't get to ask that question post match, but I'm sure in the pregame, is there a presser tomorrow, Papa? Is there media availability?
I do not.
Yeah, I'll double check that, but we don't have a final prognosis from the MRI yet for JP. So Eric Tommy's gonna have to. Him and Harbor might get some minutes there.
Yeah, and Harbor looks up for it, man. I mean, we spoke to him yesterday, and man, what a good head on it.
Big zone.
Yeah, shout out Josh. If you guys, you guys probably don't know, but every time we have Champions Cup, it's a little different in format in that we speak to Coach Greg, and then we go out to something called a mix zone where all the players are around. Normally, they come and speak to us in the press conference area, in the studio room, and the mix zone is really fun because Josh will be standing out there and it'll be mix zone. But anyway, that's the kind of nerdy stuff that we do while we're waiting to interview these Galaxy players, guys. So anyway, guys, so Ananda, you kept on calling out one player a bunch. You're like, hey, look at him, man. Like, look at him making this tackle. Look at him making this tackle. I'll let you take it away because you were kind of man crushing on him a little bit.
Well, and I think you followed suit because you started noticing some of the things he was doing, and you're like, I kind of see it, right? So we want to talk about Lucas Sanabria, guys, and he's been mostly played, Rob, as interestingly enough as this number 10, but maybe as an advanced 8, because when you play Winder and Sanabria, they're really more advanced eights and Cerrillo as that single pivot. It's a very flexible formation though, especially in the attack. I keep talking about that 3-2-5 all the time, trying to overload, especially the right.
Yeah, you love it.
The right hand side. But let's start where I always start, which is the stat sheet, right? So let's talk about the good. Rob, 5 defensive contributions, 4 tackles. He led the team in this. 4 ball recoveries, dispossessed only once, so pretty clean there. 5 out of 9 duels won. Okay, more than 50%. That's good. I'd like to see that number a little bit higher for Lucas, but more than 50%. That should probably be the baseline. But just a couple things that maybe needs improvement, or maybe we want to see him level up his game this year. Only 0.2 XGI, so expected goal involvement. That's goals and assists. So didn't get too much into the attack. I know he has that capability. We've seen that, Rob. He's already scored a goal this year. Remember how many goals he scored in preseason, especially in those closed door scrimmages? He has that ability in him. So I kind of want to see that a little bit more, him being threatening. Also underscored by only 1 touch in the opposition box. So again, we want to get him, try to find him as that late runner, deep lying runner into the box, crashing the box and getting those opportunities from those cutbacks and rebounds and whatnot, like we saw last game, right? Against what was that? Charlotte, the first goal against Charlotte at home. 22 out of 29 passes, 76%. Look, I put that as needs improvement, but honestly, so I'm going to pull up his touch map and his heat map. If you look at those passes there on the right, a lot of the missed passes were actually forward looking. There was one big diag that he missed. But a couple of, you see those reds in there, just passes that he was trying to get into the final third, just didn't come off. So I don't mind that percentage because it's not safe. He's trying to actually cut through the lines a little bit, right? But at least, that's something that we've got to look for in Lucas's game is like, can he sort of work within, especially that right hand side, those 3v2s, 4v3s, and try to just find his positioning. Like, to me, honestly, though, looking at this, my takeaway is, or just thinking about it a little bit further, I kind of want him to be at the end of those receiving passes, Papa, not the guy actually making the pass. So maybe a quick pass out to Yamane or whoever that right back is and Pec, and then him sprinting to the spot in the middle for him to get that shot off, right? Or maybe lay it off to Klaus and play like a little 1-2. So and that's why I circled there on that heat map. So everyone on the audio listening on audio, I have a heat map there on the left-hand side. He tended to favor that right-hand side a little bit more, partly because of 2 things, Rob. The Mount Pleasant set up in a really, really low block, and they clogged the middle. Like, there was no space in the middle, and I think a lot of the Galaxy players throughout the game had trouble finding those spaces in between the lines. That's kind of when you want a guy like Marco in there, but again, he wasn't available for this game. But like, where we kind of want to see Lucas a little bit more is operating in that middle, so that, whether it's, again, going in deep for a deep lying run, or just sort of orchestrating from there versus the middle. But yeah, so those are sort of what I saw in the stats. What impressed you the most in the eye test when we were watching the game together?
Yeah, man. Basically, I asked Greg about it. I was like, hey, Lucas was getting stuck in. He got into a couple of different tackles, and he broke up a couple plays, and Greg basically said, that's his meat and drink. That's why we got him. And much to your point, like, you're talking about him, maybe passing off to the side and getting forward a little bit more, as he can get into advanced positions. Greg said pretty much the same thing, if not last press conference and the one before that, and was talking about that's the element of Lucas's game that they're trying to add now, is helping him get a little bit forward so he can contribute a little bit more to the attacking side of the team. He didn't really stand out on the attacking side, but like I said, he definitely and then it was tough for the team at large. Like I said, minute 5 through 85, just man. But he definitely did his job. So if he can add that side, then he's going to be a dangerous player, man.
Yeah.
But if Yes, Ananda.
No. I was gonna say I agree with that. But like really quick, just to kind of illustrate that, because I don't know when I'm gonna bring this up, but I thought this was kind of cool. Like Concacaf gives us it gives us like a different stat sheet at the end of the match. But look at this. This is kind of like the point about like them clogging the middle and then playing a really low block. Which, by the way, guys, this is probably what you're gonna see a lot. You're probably going to see that this weekend against SKC. But this is I thought that was kind of interesting. I pulled this up. It's called defensive actions by areas, and you see the low block percentage there on the bottom. 68% of the time, Mount Pleasant was in the low block. So they clearly were trying to bunker, and they used the 4-4-1-1. Greg called it 2 banks of 4, low block, and try to hit the Galaxy on the counter. So again, but it's like the Galaxy are going to see a lot of this. So we have to find a plan A, B, and C to try to like move the defense side to side, because we're going to play a lot of low blocks this year. Like not a lot of teams are going to play us like man to man until you get to more of the elite teams of the Western Conference, for example, like a Vancouver, San Diego, LAFC, those teams.
Yeah, well, they did set up in the low block and they did frustrate the Galaxy, but let's, like I said, we always like to take it back to the beginning. We took it back to the beginning for the lineups, and now let's kind of give you a picture here of this match. If you weren't at the digs, if you haven't watched it yet, well, allow me. The Galaxy beat Mount Pleasant FA, which is Football Academy, 3-0 in the first leg of the 2026 Concacaf Champions Cup Round of 16. There's that operative phrase, Ananda, that I missed last time. And kind of stunned the Jamaican team early with Gabriel Pec getting a goal in the 6th minute off the Mo Cuevas assist. You were talking about those low blocks, and the Galaxy started well pretty much all year, and here they take advantage of a fast start early, getting a goal in the 6th minute. But Ananda, I talked about it in El Minuto de la Mañana. From there, man, the intensity dropped. They weren't in a rhythm. Like at times, people weren't moving for each other. The killer instinct wasn't there, and then just a bunch of chances went begging, were wasted. I mean, we saw Klaus miss goals, the sitters, man, that he normally buries, and I think we know why. But
yep, exactly.
He amongst a couple of his teammates, missed very, very good chances. But I've already mentioned a couple times, from minute 5 to 85, y'all don't need to watch that match. But after minute 85, or a little bit before that, I think maybe 10 minutes before that, Greg made some substitutions that changed the game. I mean, he brought on Mickey Yamane, Isaiah Parente, Harbor Miller. Who am I missing, Ananda?
You said Mickey, Isaiah.
Ruben came on.
Ruben, yep.
Yeah, Ruben came on. I believe that was the 4. And they kind of revitalized the energy. Mickey Yamane set up Gabriel Pec off a good switch, a good ball from Isaiah Parente for the 2-0 in the 89th minute. And then all the frustration that Jacques Klaus was feeling, he finally got to get rid of some of it with an assist for Gabriel Pec. He completes his hat trick in the 96th minute to give the Galaxy a 3-0 advantage heading to Kingston, Jamaica on March 19th. Ananda, were you there when? Who was it that told us that they heard that the pitch isn't that great?
That was Justin Hack, because he had a friend that plays.
Yeah, on the Jamaican national team. That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, and he was already getting like the scouting report on the pitch, and apparently it's not that great. Even though João Klaus had a rough day at the office, he did record his 6th goal contribution off that assist to Gabriel Pec. So he is, doing what the Galaxy signed him for. He's providing or scoring goals. That's a 6th now in all competitions. He's now averaging 1 goal contribution per match, and he's been on the score sheet in 5 of the team's 6 games so far, 4 goals, 2 assists. So he's doing what he needs to do in Honda. But, what we've been talking about here is that 3-0 and flatters the Galaxy because, again, like we said, from minute 5 through 85, they played maddeningly enough to make me forget my composure in the press box. Let me just say that. Well, what were we calling out yesterday? I mean, I remember some of it for sure, but what were some of the things that you remember me saying or you were saying yesterday?
Well, one of the things was like one of the things that I vividly remember, and this is true, by the way. So it's like, guys, you're getting an inside peek of what we kind of talk about, like especially with like the other folks as well in the press box. But like the one thing that stuck out to me was like, man, like I can't remember what period in the game it was, but it's like it's games like these that give the ammunition for the people and the fans out there and the folks that aren't believing in Vanny, like to give them ammunition because. You talked about the lack of urgency, but then there's also like maybe like just a lack of, part of it is urgency, and then maybe part of it is just like direction or like the vigor and the vitriol to like grab the game by the scruff of the neck and make things happen, right? Especially in the final third. But maybe it's like, the instruction is not to expose ourselves too much, which has been sort of the way we've approached CCC, right? And look, and it's been successful. So, in this case, is the inefficiency on the player side or the coaching side, right? That's kind of like a debate that we've had too on the side. But do you have as you slept on it, Papa, do you have a thought either way on this?
Man, I mean, I guess I can only go with the data, right? And that should really just inform our decision on everything anyway. But, the Galaxy was wasteful again. How wasteful? 11 shots on target, 3.17 XG. Alex Guti out there was saying 7 big missed chances by Klaus. There was other big missed chances. Ananda, you mentioned that Greg was talking about one instance where Pec took a shot from long range that didn't really make sense, and so he that's when he mentioned that he wants his team to make that extra pass and move and create space, and occasionally like by his comments we can infer that sometimes his team doesn't do that. So again, how much of this is player error? How much of this is coach's plan or coaching error? I mean, Ananda, really the only way we're going to know is when the Galaxy get a different coach and see what he can do with them, I guess.
I mean, all I can say is, and I'm going to speak like from the both sides of my mouth, like Hammer always tries to say, right? But like, so there was multiple plays, guys, because again, Rob and I were right there. We heard Greg a lot. Like he was not happy. He was not happy with a lot of like plays. There were certain plays where the ball just got we were in a good position, sort of going from the middle part to the final third, and the ball got recycled back, and Greg had his arms in the air and he was shouting at some of the players. So it's like, and what's interesting, Papa? Like I pulled up this and I thought this was interesting, and this like fuels it even more. But this is I pulled up this pass map. So this is a pass matrix from the Galaxy, and you see all 11 players there, including the subs in gray. And what I thought was interesting about this was, again, like if you're trying to be the team in the front foot, show your dominance against, I mean, admittedly, not as good team on paper as the Galaxy, especially with 10 players missing, right, from their side. Like, wouldn't we want? I think what fans wanted was just to see a little bit more on the front foot, a little bit more just attacking verve. And what I noticed on this pass map was if you look at the connections between the front three and especially like the midfield, like you see that number 8 to 99, like there's no line there. 8 to 27 to Eric Tommy, no line there. Like Lucas Sanaria to Gabriel Pec, a very, very thin line. And the thickest lines that you see and the bars that you see are Jakob Glesnes and Justin Haak playing long balls or playing like kind of, skipping the lines a little bit to guys like Eric Tommy and Joao Klaus. But what you want to see, a team that's on the front foot, you see a lot of passes between the front three and especially maybe the 1 or 2 midfielders in this case, the front five, right? In that 3-2-5 that I talk about. So But again, it's like, is that down to the players, or is that just down to maybe direction? Again, I'm gonna cop out and probably say it's both. But honestly, like, these players need to find their own solutions on the pitch. Like I said, like, Greg was pretty upset about a lot of those plays because we heard it. Like, we were literally right there, and like, I look at you like, did you hear Greg shout again? Kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I thought he was upset because, you know, like, I offered him some tacos earlier, and you know, I didn't deliver, you know, but like, that wasn't it at all. He was, yeah, no, he was heated because his players weren't doing what he wanted them to do, and his comments kind of let us know that that's the case.
And what did I say? I said, bring on the kids. Let them.
Oh yeah, you said it a bunch of times.
Let them show you a different side. Let them speed up the game. Let them show that they're hungry for a spot in this team, and maybe, you know, they have the right intent coming into this game, and they're not playing down to the level of the competition. And lo and behold, you know, that came out to be true. So.
Yeah, man. Harbor, I said it earlier. He mentioned that he remains ready. You know, I believe somebody asked him if you know, it's kind of hard with, you know, his wait for his chance, and he, like I said, he has a good head on his shoulders. You know, he's young and he's gonna get his chance, but obviously he's chomping at the bit, right? And Andy, we've already talked about the inefficiency, just the wastefulness. You know, I called out 7 or 8 chances, but I believe you have an official stat line on the big chances missed.
Yeah, nine big chances missed, and I think for me that's the one key stat for this game. I mean, you look at the dominance from the Galaxy. If I didn't watch this game and I looked at the stat sheet just on the paper at full time, I'd be like, whoa, the Galaxy completely dominated this game, right? 31 shots to 6, 11 shots on target versus 2. 75% possession, like over triple the amount of passes. Like, it's a completely dominant stat sheet. But then you watch the game and you take things into context, Papa. And one of the big culprits of the Galaxy's non-dominance was those 9 big chances. And you know, the other thing too, that what happens, especially a guy like João Klaus that usually buries those chances in the final third and in the box, they tend to demoralize a team, and they tend to like create like a sense of like not only pressure, but I guess more pressure to not mess up the next time, right? So it almost like gives this team like a sense of, okay, we're knocking on the door, but when are we going to score this damn goal, right? And maybe there's like a sense of nervousness. I also think, honestly, man, like, it was just a weird game, like the you know, the lack of crowd or the lack of they're like the energy was really low. Like, I wonder if that affected the team. I mean, they're professionals, it shouldn't. But like João Klaus said in his post-match conference, they're humans. Like, these guys are humans and they feed off of energy. So I'm wondering if that had something a little bit to do with it. I don't know. But look, I'm just happy at the end we scraped it out and got the 3-0.
And it was, like you said, scraped out. But those last 2 goals were vital. You know, that's going to allow the Galaxy to take a commanding lead back to Jamaica. And you were talking about, you know, play the kids, and we almost saw the kids come off with that really good goal. Harbor's headed goal that was disallowed. You know, apparently there was a handball by João Klaus or something like that, or a foul in the build-up or something. I'm not even sure what the call was on that one exactly. But it just followed a precedent of the ref just kind of doing what he wanted on this in this game, including blowing the whistle early on halftime, and I believe taking a corner kick away from the Galaxy there at halftime.
Oh man, that ref was on one last night. He had some really interesting calls. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, no, interesting is absolutely correct. Hopefully, he won't be refereeing any more of the Galaxy's games in the CCC.
Yeah. But you know how we talk about like the Galaxy playing down to the level of their competition. I'll tell you this: if we play the same way that we did against Mount Pleasant in the first game and the 2 legs of San Miguelito against Toluca or San Diego, we're getting blown out.
Lights out. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. It's not happening. So it's like, But the question is, we don't know what we don't know. So the question is, can the Galaxy raise their level when they have stiff competition like that in the forms of those two teams? That's an unknown right now. And we don't know the answer to that because we haven't seen it, because the Galaxy have always played to the level, like we've been saying, right? So that's like one thing that like I'm thinking about. And I'm sure a lot of Galaxy fans, I mean, chat's already picked up on it even earlier. Like against those two teams, boy, that's a test. That's a really tough test.
Yeah, no, it's going to get a little bit dicier here for the Galaxy. I mean, they're halfway through their second stanza, how they've been calling it, but there are a couple more stanzas to go here. But anyway, Ananda, let's get to some defending the badge here. Do we even really have to ask? I mean, are we just giving it to Pecky for his hat trick? I mean, should we just mark his occasion with defending the badge as well?
Yeah, I mean, you could honestly, like, I don't know why, like, again, I'm gonna proclaim my Klaus crush now, Baba. Like this guy, again, because you always talk about defending the badge as like it's so much more than who played the best. It's, do they represent the colors, you know, the crest on the shirt? Like, do they wear it with passion and pride, and how they carry themselves both on and off the pitch? Like, by the way, both Pec and Klaus did a really good job of this, which is they found a way to persevere, right? They battled through. In Pec's case, it was battling through that really bad decision in the last game. He had to show out, and look, at the end, he got a hat trick.
Rebound.
And it was a good rebound game. I even called it right before this game. Like, Pec needs to have a really good game, and I'm rooting for him to have a bounce back game, which eventually he did. Klaus, now we know the context of why he struggled so much. I mean, he said it in that clip, like, he was human, he was suffering, you know, not just for himself, but on behalf of his dear friend and his lovely wife that just passed away. So, but to persevere and get that assist to Gabby, and he kept fighting, right? But like, one thing you'll never question with João Klaus is his effort, his work rate, his desire. Like, even if he's having a bad day in the office, he's gonna keep working. He's gonna keep working his socks off for you, and that's, I think Galaxy fans warm up to that the most. And I think, like, by the end of the season, João Klaus will be a household name in a lot of Galaxy fans' households. So I'm going to give it to him too, for that, you know.
Okay, well, I can't disagree for that. Like I mentioned a couple of times, he's
especially the context, given the context.
Yeah, he's continuously impressed me as a person, and you know, I know it wasn't his greatest game, but yeah, I mean, to persevere is an excellent trait, man. He did end up getting that assist when it could have very easily been him putting his head down and saying, you know, I've missed a couple, and then missing his chance to get an assist on it. So yeah, I don't disagree with you. So let's take it now here, switching tactics or switching lanes here. We were in the Concacaf Champions Cup. Now let's go to the league here. They obviously do have a game against Sporting Kansas City this Saturday. We spoke a lot to the team and Greg about, you know, the away leg in Jamaica, but you know, there's obviously a home game this weekend, so we need to talk about that. So the Galaxy are facing off against Sporting Kansas City this Saturday, March 14th at 6:30, which is really 6:38, and it'll be the return of Dejan Joveljic to the digs. Shout out to the Bishop, and Eric Tommy will be reunited with his old team as well. In 74 all-time regular season meetings, the Galaxy hold an advantage over Sporting Kansas City with a 29-18-27 record. At home, the Galaxy have a 19-8-9 record across 36 matches played against Sporting Kansas City. Last season, they split the series with each home team winning the encounter. The Sporting Kansas City won 1-0 in May of 2025, while the Galaxy responded with a 4-1 win at the digs. So let's look at where Nightmare, it is the Pie Day game. Yeah, we got to go ahead and get a couple of pecan pies, a couple of key limes, man. It's going to be a delicious affair. Anyway, let's look at where these teams are in the standings here. After 3 matches, the Galaxy are in 8th place on 4 points, 1.33 points per game, a 1-1-1 record, 5 goals for, 5 games against, a 0 goal difference, and they are tied with Dallas in 9th place. But it could be worse, Galaxy fans, because Sporting Kansas City is
still in 15th.
just, man, like they haven't been able to lift themselves up from that spot, man. After 3 matches played, they are last in the West, 15th place, 1.33 points per game, 0-2-1 record, 2 goals for, 6 goals against, -4 goal difference. They are going through a rebuild, y'all. They do have a new coach. They finally parted ways with Peter Vermes, who I honestly, Ananda, we at one point joked that, you know, in the apocalypse, it was going to be the coaches, the Roaches running around, and Peter Vermes still coaching Sporting Kansas City. Yeah. And I guess, you know, they finally pulled the trigger on some new blood here, and it's like I said, Rafael Wicki, who does have MLS experience, and he takes charge of a team that is gone through some massive overhaul here. 13 players departed from Sporting Kansas City after the 2025 season, including stalwarts like Daniel Shalhoub. Ooh, look, Ananda, I know how to pronounce his name now. And of course Eric Tommy, who joined the Galaxy. But they did pick up 12 new players, highlighted by Norwegian international Lassie Johnson. That's just a funny name, Lassie Johnson. Anyway, only 1 point from the first 3 games, Ananda. It's not going great, man. Honestly, like the like I said, Galaxy fans are kind of upset about the start, but it could be worse. It could be Sporting Kansas City worse. Let's go ahead and see who we have missing from this one, Ananda. Gabriel Pec, of course, is suspended for that red card. Joseph Paintsil is out. Emilio Garces, Chris Rindolph. I don't even know why they put Ricky Pooch in this graphic, man. He's obviously all it is true, but I mean he's gone all season. So I mean,
it's just a painful reminder to Galaxy fans.
Yeah, just it's like
Bob just trying to put the dagger in there.
Exactly. On Sporting Kansas City side, Ryan Shui, Justin Reynolds, Jack Kortkamp, and Zorhan Basong are all out for Sporting Kansas City. And honestly, like those aren't tremendous contributors to the first team anyway. So they haven't been having a great season. So I don't think right now at this point it really matters if they're missing a couple players. They're just going through it. But Ananda, who could the Galaxy be lining up with to face off against Sporting Kansas City on Saturday?
Okay, well, I'll go first, which means Rob is doing predictions first, so that's kind of how this works.
No, I'm going to do for the Galaxy to win this match first, and then you do predictions first because we trade off.
No, but then chat goes first, so we're both wrong. So this is my predicted 11. So again, given the suspensions, Gabriel Pec, given some of the injuries, so and given maybe the starts, or remember Marco didn't even make this squad last time. So for the audio listeners, so my starting 11: Mitrovic in goal, Aude, Yoshida, Glesnes, Yamane as my back 4, Cerrillo, Hawk, and Royce in the midfield. So I'm putting Hawk in the midfield, back to where he's played in the league. And then Eric Tommy for the injured Joseph Paintsil, and Mauricio Cuevas on the right hand side there.
Big Momo.
So not playing an inverted winger on the right hand side. Like I thought Mauricio, Rob, was really good against Mount Pleasant. Like he sat down a couple of defenders on the right hand side.
He ended one guy's career, man. Ooh, filthy.
One of those plays led to that goal, right? The first one. So look, I think Cuevas is going to get the berth on the right hand side. Like the midfield, I mean, look, Joe 13 Cole said Hawk in the middle. Please God, no. I think Greg, I just want to see him play. Like we've got to figure out like what is the best position for Justin Hawk. Like if he doesn't show maybe better, or sort of a better result, maybe in the midfield against a team like SKC, maybe then you move him, you take out Yoshida, give him a breather for the last 20, put him in center back, and see how it looks. Like, but we've got to see Justin Haak. Like, we can't have an asset like that sitting on the bench for too long. Like, I think that's more of an indictment than on the decision in the offseason. But what are you laughing at?
Chat right now, man. My boy Nightmare going off right here. Starting Yoshida and Royce is elder abuse. Man, that's comedy. Sir Dave, and we can't. Joe 13 Cool says Hack and Serio in the middle gonna set a record for back passes. Man.
But Serio against Charlotte was really good. He had a lot of forward passes, like the hockey assist for the first goal. So it's like, again, this is a mindset thing. This is the thing we've talked about before. Like, it's really just a mindset and making sure that the players are not going sideways and backwards, and that they're looking forward and brave enough to make that pass. But anyways, let's look at your lineup real quick.
Yeah, man. Well, obviously, the big man, Jacques Klaus, starts up top. Eric Tommy gets the start on the left, how we saw in the game against Mount Pleasant. To be honest, I thought he was, kind of ineffectual, but he pretty much admitted as much after the game. He says he's still kind of working through a couple things. Marco Royce there in the 10th spot. Mo Cuevas, I agree with you. I think he is going to go ahead and get that start there on the wing, because obviously the Galaxy are both without both their DP wingers. Serio and Winder there in the middle. Winder has been, since he's been available, he's been a great constant. I don't see that changing. And then that means Justin Haak and Jakub Glesnes are your center back pairing, Yamane and Ade as the backs, and Mitrovic in goal. Because I told them that they should start Mitrovic. I won't be available, so that's my lineup.
Yeah, I mean, you're putting Haak in center back then.
Yeah, man. You're right. I don't think Greg has found his 100% position, but he's only seen him one game at center back, so I think he's going to give him a run out, because obviously they got the shut out against Mount Pleasant as they should have, but now they have a chance to go ahead and re-up that against an MLS team and one that presents not that hard of a challenge, so this is a good betting in game for Haak and Glesnes as a center back duo. Yeah. Now, what are you laughing at?
I was gonna say, so Sir Dave, I don't know what you're smoking if you don't think any of these lineups should not beat a 15th place team. I think we can both agree on that, don't you think? Anyways.
Yeah. No. I mean,
seriously, if we can't beat SKC with either of these lineups, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's an indictment on this team then. But again, it's all about application. Like, maybe we'll talk about it for the Galaxy to win. It's going to be about application. Again, it's the same conversation we had coming into the Pleasant game.
Don't play down to your opponent. You're playing the 15th place team. Be cutthroat. Be ruthless. Because there's a man on the other side who's going to be trying to be ruthless and cutthroat. But maybe we'll talk about him in a second. Ananda, do you have any stats for this one?
No stats. I'm not doing stats until I'm gonna go with the Matt Pollard rule here. 10 game sample size.
10 game sample size. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will get some Ananda stats in a couple weeks. But we'll talk about this guy on the other side that's going to be trying to cause the Galaxy a little.
We know him well. We do know him well. He's been the only offensive light here for SKC so far this year. He's scored the team's only 2 goals this season in that 2-2 tie against the Columbus Crew. Manu Garcia is their DP midfielder, but so far we've seen him create very little or dictate very little for Sporting Kansas City. And Ananda, I think what you're saying is absolutely true here. The Galaxy, I mean, they just got to be wary of doing what they did against Mount Pleasant and playing down to their competition. So that's your Is that your thing? Like that's what they need to do to win, basically, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, they gotta be cutthroat, man. They gotta find that killer instinct. Joseph Paintsil said smoking on that Panamanian Jamaican pack. In this case, they gotta be smoking on that Kansas City barbecue, baby. And they gotta make it happen. Gotta be cutthroat early, score 2 or 3, hopefully within 15 minutes, just like they did against Charlotte. I mean, I said people shouldn't get carried away. It won't be like that every weekend, but we've seen the Galaxy, at least for the first 5 to 10 minutes in every game, create several chances. So maybe that is their standard. Maybe they can create a couple chances early and overwhelm teams early before a team gets settled in. They just haven't been taking their chances to do so. So anyway, yeah, all that to say, yes.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I'll have to add to that is I want to see, and maybe the operative word here, Papa, is like concentration with the application. So what I mean by that is
focus.
Like the focus on having the right energy levels for the game, the focus on, yes, respecting the opponent, but understanding that they are like, don't give a wounded animal any chance of hope, right? You want to kill that hope as much as possible and as quickly as possible, and especially early. So what that means is you can't be wasteful on your chances. So you have to concentrate and you have to focus with the application to, build yourself a cushion, a 2-3 goal cushion. And then that's it, right? Like everyone goes home happy, like the refrigerator's closed. So I think that's got to be part of this, is like the concentration. Look, I don't expect João Klaus to have 6 big chances missed again. I really don't. I expect him and the other guys to be dialed in for this one. And yeah, man, like, so concentration's part of it. And then of course, like just keeping Dayon quiet. Like your baseline has to be 0, like SKC 0. And then you build on from there. Right. And that should be the key to winning this game.
Well, that's the key to winning this game, but what are the win probabilities for this game?
Yes, sir. Let's see.
I know you and Dr. Raquinho were doing the math on some of these and came up with this.
Yeah, exactly. Because I told him to stop going to Morongo and Aguascalientes, and I told him to just go on, hit up your data center and hit up your ChatGPT or Gemini and cook up these.
But Dr. Raquinho, he belongs to like the frequent players club,
the frequent player, the VIP. Exactly.
Yeah, so he gets conf rooms,
steak dinners,
Dr. Raquinho doing it big, man.
Well, guys, if the dreaded 2-letter word is ringing in your head, well, that's because the Galaxy have a 60% win probability versus SKC's 18.9%. And just a couple of fun facts before you guys make your predictions, which, again, I'm not going first. So a couple of these insights. So SKC have lost their 7 away matches in a row. I think that's dating back to last year. Oof. There have been 3 or more goals scored in total in each of Sporting KC's last 10 away games. So, Papa, there will be goals in this game. The question is, where will they go? So there you go.
Are you saying that this is going to be a trap game?
Shh.
Oh man, I already said it, I blew it. No, I think, you know what? I have no problem going first on
I don't either
today.
I'm confident.
Chat as well. Start throwing some of yours in there. We would love to hear what you're thinking for this match. If you think the Galaxy are going to come out with a win, what the scoreline is going to be, or if, man, the worst should happen and a 15th place team does the business on the Galaxy at home. Let us know what you think that scoreline is going to be. We would love to read them out here. But yeah, like I said, Ananda, I will go first because I have no shame in my game. I think the Galaxy will win this game. I think that Hack and Gillespie's partnership will get that shutout, and then the Galaxy will not cruise, kind of labor as we've seen them do, to a 2-0 win.
Yeah, that's where my head is going, but then I'm like, dude, what? This team never ceases to amaze me in either way.
I was gonna say, in a good way.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, maybe. Okay. I am gonna go with your score. I'm actually gonna go a little bit more. I'm gonna go 3-0, 3-1, 3-0, 3-0. I'm gonna be confident. 3-0. And you know why, Papa? Like, actually, I think
Because you've secretly been drinking this whole pod, and
no. This is my like coconut water for the day. No, I think the introduction of Julian Aude, Mo Cuevas, Eric Tommy, and Marco Royce. I think the Marco Royce Eric Tommy thing is going to be interesting to watch. Like, I think that there's going to be a little bit more continuity, a little bit more composure in the final third, meaning like passes are going to be connected versus like like we saw a lot of stray balls, right? Like in the first, like especially in the first half. Like,
chill.
where are you passing? Like, well, by the way, yeah, this is after dark for you, I guess, because I was not thinking that at all. But anyways, go ahead, son, go on through bad self. But anyways, yeah, I think there's just going to be more continuity. Like, there's not going to be as much like lost possession or like weird passes. And yeah, I'm confident. I'm confident that the team will get it together. I also, by the way, like Parente had a very good little cameo. Like, maybe he might get the start, like double pivot, like, because I think about like if we're playing a double pivot with Marco. Hold on a second. Listen, hear me out. If we're playing a double pivot with Marco, Winder's not a true double pivot. Neither is Sanabria, right? So it's only Hawk and Parente. They're the only they're the only true pivots on this team. And Hawk, I mean, I just got called out for the jury's still out for Hawk in midfield. Like what am I smoking, right? So Parente had a nice little cameo, was clean and tidy. Hey, I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it.
I don't see it happening personally, but I mean, I'm not against it if Greg goes for it, but I don't see him doing it. Like I've been like reasonably like on with my Greg predictions, like maybe like a 70% rate, I would say.
Yeah, so he's risk averse, like you said, but he did have a good cameo. That's why I like kind of turned my head a little bit. Excuse me.
Oh, he's got you in your feels too. Wow.
Yeah.
You were like, you liked the pass that much. Yeah, no, I mean,
coconut water.
It's the coconut hitting you hard, huh? Anyway. Yeah, no. Let's go ahead and go through some of these predictions here from chat.
It looks like chat, other than pessimistic Pottermas, which is very appropriate to your name, sir. Shout out Potter. He says
Zero, bro.
Snake Eyes. And actually, no, not Snake Eyes. Zeros. Nightmare says 3-0 win with Galaxy having shots on goal. Nice one, Nightmare. You never cease to make us laugh. Commentary, what's up, man? 2-1 win, just to be safe.
What up, B?
Sir Dave, 2-0 Galaxy. Hopefully, maybe praying for it. I like it. La Habra, 3-1 Galaxy. So yeah, a lot of Galaxy wins here. 3-1 Goldeon. I could see that happening, but
does he celebrate?
He didn't last time, did he?
Nah, I don't think he did.
So maybe I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. I mean, you know what, Rob? He is not going to celebrate because he won't score.
Ooh, this man getting crazy with it over here. Yeah. You know what? You did call out Eric Tommy and Marco Royce being interesting. Blood, they're gonna be able to talk alemán.
And Klaus. Y Klaus también, papá.
Klaus habla alemán también.
Bro, es alemán brasileño. Lo sabes.
Pero no sabía que hablaba español. I mean, no español, alemán, bro.
Of course, bro. He's Brazilian German.
Pensé que hablaba portugués.
And of course, he's a man of many talents. A man of many talents. Just like you, Papa.
Sheesh. Now flattery will get you everywhere. All right. Well, chat, we got your predictions. We have our predictions. I mean, with the exception of Pottermas, it looks like everybody is calling a Galaxy win. It would kind of be disastrous if the Galaxy were to lose at home to the 15th place team. It would set off some alarm bells and I don't think it would put Greg on the hot seat, but it might raise a couple of eyebrows in his direction. So anyway, guys, I think that wraps us up. Ananda, do you got anything else to go ahead and throw on this game preview?
I just wanted to say thank you, of course, to everyone in chat for joining us. You guys are amazing as always, making us laugh. And yeah, one of the things though that I always try to leave last word to chat, and I started this comment, Rob, because it's something I thought about as well. So shout out Joe 13 Cool for this really good comment, in my opinion, really good insight here. He says, my worry for Pec is we need him to play with the team. He gets frustrated and tries to play hero ball, and it worked last night. But that's not a recipe for success. You know what's funny? Like, I've been thinking about this, and like I feel like he has unfortunately taken on basically the flaw that Ricky had, which is this idea of hero ball. And I see that too. Like, Greg made that really astute comment at the end in the press conference where he said, we were just talking about in the locker room, Gabe had this one shot that didn't make sense at all, neither to me, like, or to anyone in the team. And then we talked about him because they've been working on taking that extra pass and move and getting a better shot, right, with the movement. Right. So it's like that decision making, and maybe like Gabe is trying so hard to put everyone on the team on his back, and obviously atone for his mess up the other day with the red card. And sometimes it gets in that hero ball territory. We saw it with Ricky, right? And then when Ricky started to trust his teammates and play within the flow of the offense, things just flowed through, and we saw the killer peas and the offensive production they had. So I really like this comment because that's something that I've noticed as well, and I'm hoping that like Gabe just plays within the flow of the offense and like builds that chemistry naturally, not try to force anything. Like, he doesn't need to. Like, we've got a really good squad, we've got a really good attacking trio, especially with JP in there once he's fit and healthy. Just trust your teammates, Papa. You can do this.
Yeah, no, no notes on that, man. I mean, I was gonna be like, well, let me push back because he did have that goal and he made that extra pass, and you brought up exactly what I was gonna say, So yeah, we saw both facets of Gabriel Pec, the one that does play that hero ball, and the one that trusts his team and makes that extra pass, and we see the results. The Galaxy did beat Mount Pleasant 3-0 off that Gabriel Pec hat trick. Now he will try to recreate that goal scoring in this next match against Sporting Kansas City on March 14th, this Saturday. There's a couple things going on at the Digs, like we mentioned, is Pubs at the Pitch. The Galaxy will be honoring the women in their organization, and it is also Women's History Month at the Digs. And then on Monday, March 16th, we'll bring you our Galaxy versus Sporting Kansas City match reaction. Win, lose, or draw, we will be here with you through it all. And we get you ready for leg 2 of the CCC happening on Thursday, March 19th. That game kicks off at 4 p.m. So I've already mentioned to you guys, you guys gotta fake sick at work, do what you got to do, but you guys got to, get glued to that TV by 4 p.m. to support your LA Galaxy. And on to anything else to add?
Daniel, he came in late, but it's all good because you can catch us on playback. Just hit rewind, Papa.
Yeah.
Enjoy all of our waffle there. But guys, you know where to find us. You know where to hit subscribe and hit that notification bell. And we'll see you on the next one. Hopefully after the Galaxy win 10-0.
Yeah. Oh man, that was man, I guess it's good to have big dreams, right? Daniel Ananda's right. You guys can catch this on playback. Of course, guys, if you're out there and you're wondering, who our next guests are and stuff like that, go ahead and subscribe and you'll be informed. Of course, Daniel, you guys can catch us on playback. There is a bit where we talk about Dr. Raquinho and, like his clubbing habits and stuff like that. You can skip that part. Not really important. But we do, guys, appreciate you being here in chat. I think there's only one thing left to say, right, Arnaldo?
Dale.
Chatcitos, we love you. Aquí vamos. Till next time. G.